Well, we're fine. We're back. We're a day ahead of week one. Kansas
Yes,
City,
sir.
Kansas City, Detroit. Week one opening game. Can't wait for
Yeah, man.
that. Some news coming out of Kansas City as we know with Chris Jones and Travis Kelsey, kind of scaring us a little bit with Travis Kelsey because we have him in our dynasty league, and
But
we know that
hasn't
guy.
missed a game. Hasn't missed a game because of injury his whole career. I finally get a chance to draft him
No,
in two different leagues, and he goes down.
he had an injury in 2013. That was his last injury.
This shit is crazy, bro. I go all that time having to go against him kicking my ass. I picked Mark Andrews over him last year. Yeah, I know people. I'm a dunce. Uh, and and I finally get a chance. I'm like, all right, if I can get him this year, I'm getting him. And sure enough, he gets hurt right before week one. That's just my luck. It really is. That's my luck.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunate shit, but yeah.
But yeah, we got that Nick Bosa signing signing a lucrative contract.
Yes, he. Yeah.
170 mil over, I think it was 5 years. 122, 123 mil guaranteed. That's a lot.
A lot of money.
That is a lot of moolah, especially guaranteed, bro. Listen, I ain't going down swinging like last time.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I hit the
Like,
YouTube thing and it kicked me off of this bitch for a second.
yeah, it does that. I don't quite understand
Yeah,
exactly why.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, so some big news coming out of the NFL right before the season kicks off. It's kind of crazy. You know, you hope that. Why isn't this? Oh, it's not plugged in. Hold on, real quick.
Are you good?
Plug. Shit, dying.
But yeah, week one, Kansas City coming up. Kansas City's going to be missing Chris Jones. He's not going to be there for week one to help anchor down the defensive line. Travis Kelsey's not going to possibly Travis Kelsey's not going to be there for Mahomes' security blanket. And then Ladarius Sneed, one of their cornerbacks, is hurt. Is dealing with an injury now.
Really, I did not know that they were hurt outside on the defense like that.
Yeah, I just found that out today, and from what I'm hearing, they were saying on the radio that Kansas City should be scared right now.
Ah,
I wouldn't say scared, but they should be thinking a little bit more.
slightly worried. You know what I mean? Slightly worried. Okay. I mean, because let's be honest. Are we really gonna sit here and act like they don't have Patrick Mahomes in the backfield? You know what I mean? They still got Pacheco running the ball. Their offensive line isn't banged up. If he could just give him time. Now, I do think that yes, the wide receivers have to get open. But man, I mean, we're talking about Detroit's defense. I did like the addition of Brian Branch, though. I did like the addition of Brian Branch from Alabama for them at safety. Very, very good draft. I just don't know if it's gonna the first game against the best team in the league. You know, is it gonna translate over that quickly? Um, I think that their defensive line will be better. It will be better. But I mean, you still got Patrick Mahomes, and let's put this into perspective, okay? When betting opened up, okay, when betting opened up and they were doing all the underdogs and favorites and all that stuff, okay. Week one, when they thought when the bettors thought that Chris Jones and Travis Kelsey were going to be there, it was 6.5. They were a 6.5 point favorite over the Lions. They are now without Chris Jones. They're most likely going to be maybe without uh, Travis Kelsey. And so now it went from a 6.5. They lost two of their best players, and it went to 5.5, -5.5. Like they lost a point. That's it, because they know that Patrick Mahomes is still in the backfield. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a wait and see thing. It's a wait and see process. Obviously we're 24 hours out. I am feeling sick right now because I have to work and I'm gonna miss most of the game. Especially like the first half, I'm gonna miss.
I got you.
I'll probably catch.
Updates.
Yeah, I'll probably be able to catch like the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't think I'll be home in time to catch the game, but I should be able. Hopefully, I'm not driving. If I'm as long as I'm not driving, I can watch it on the way home.
Yeah, you can always listen to it.
So yeah, or put the radio on. So it is what it is. But yeah, the good news though for the Chiefs is that we heard, excuse me, that Travis Kelsey his ligaments are still intact. So
Yeah, she's just dealing with a bone bruise.
yeah, just dealing with a bone bruise, just a slight bone bruise, hopefully slight. Um, there was some hyperextension in his leg. You got to be worried about that kind of stuff. But at the same time, this guy's tough. Comes from a tough-nosed family, tough-nosed school that he went to. He's been playing for years. He knows what he needs to do to rehab his body and get himself back on track.
Yeah.
Um,
On top of that, if I heard this earlier, if he was smart, he could takes off tomorrow, and that's just an extra bye week for him. That's literally just
yeah, but I mean, I agree. I agree. That it would be an extra bye week, but at the same time, he is not. If he takes off, he's going to be 1 week behind. And while I know this is Travis Kelsey, and I know all that, even you can be the best player, and if you start off slower than the rest, you lose confidence. You lose some chemistry. It's not going to be a significant drop off, but you're a step behind until you can catch back up.
Yep.
So I mean, obviously, if he's a competitor, which we know for a fact he is, he's going to want to play. He's going to do everything that's possible to play. I just think the Chiefs are going to be like, look, this is a long-term thing. Even if we lose week one. I mean, in the AFC, that's huge for if you lose the first game. So I know that the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Bills, and the Jets, and Miami, and all those teams, Chargers, they're going to be watching that game and hoping that the Lions can get one over in week one and spoil a new season for the Chiefs to start out. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Wright over there talking about, the Chiefs probably going 20-0. Like, bruh. I get it.
Honestly, you can't listen to anything Nick says because he rides the shit out of Kansas City.
And I get it. He's a Kansas City fan. He's been a fan. So I mean, I get it. But it's like, bro, come on. Let's be realistic here. Let's be realistic. You're not gonna win every game. Your team's not built. It's not even built like that.
Because I can tell you right now, they don't have Chris Jones within the next 2 weeks. They're in a world of hurt on defense.
Yeah.
Teams are just going to run the ball up the fucking middle of them, and they're not going to be able to stop them.
And you keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands that way.
Yeah.
The less possessions, the better for Kansas City. Well, yeah. If you're going against Kansas City.
Yep.
So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But and we'll pick the game later on, a little bit later on. Before we head out of here, get ready for some football.
So how you want to go? You want to do fantasy, or you want to talk week one first?
I want to talk fantasy. Me and Jared went ahead and drafted in a league together. League that they brought me into last minute. I have no idea what the competition is like, but I knew it was going to be bad and not good competition when I saw Patrick Mahomes go #1 overall. What?
Look, I was at Walmart right for when our draft started, so like I knew I wasn't really tripping because I had the last pick in the draft. I'm like, all right, cool. It buys me like a little extra, like 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah, I texted just to make sure because you were on the clock and I didn't see like the online symbol by your name. I was like, oh, just you put it in.
Yeah, Brian and Donnie, the guy that runs the league, had asked if I was in, and like I got in right when I was on the clock. That's when I took Barkley and Josh Allen. I didn't really get to look too much because I kind of had to do it real quick because I didn't know how much time was left. But I mean, I'm happy with those 2 picks. You know,
That's not bad.
Josh Allen is a top 3 quarterback in fantasy. Barkley is a top 10 running back in fantasy when he's healthy. He has to stay healthy now.
It's not even just the fact that he's got to stay healthy. I will say this, because mainly because I know the Giants so much, is that the beginning of the season last year, he had a terrific year. He really did. A stupendous year in the beginning. The first, 8 games. Those back 8, back 9, it was not that good. The
Right.
Giants figured it out. I mean, the Giants' opponents figured it out. Hey, make Daniel Jones throw the ball.
Right.
So you need to play that Daniel Jones gets it together.
This is true because like everything's gonna run through him too, with Daniel and Barkley. So if one of them's off, everything's not gonna go right. Like Barkley might get the 100 yards, you know, but then who's to say Danny Dimes don't turn around and throw 3 interceptions in that same game?
Hey, bro, chill.
I'm sorry.
Chill, man. Don't even speak that into existence. That's something we're not going to do. Because one thing that Daniel Jones did do better than what he had done every season prior, he held on to the football. He barely turned the ball over.
Speaking of fantasy football in our draft, did you see Brian's draft? His team?
Not off the top of my head.
Brian's got 3 Minnesota players in a row.
I wasn't even paying attention to that.
He got Kirk, he got Jordan Addison, and Alexander Madison.
But you know who he didn't get? Who I was able to get at number 3? Justin Jefferson at 3! Bro, y'all wild for that. Y'all wild. I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. I was like, what?
Bruh.
Because
I didn't get to see draft board up until my pick. And then like after I made my 2 picks, I seen Brian had texted me. Brian said, "How the fuck did Jacob get JJ at 3?" I'm like, what? And then I went back and looked at it. I'm like, Mahomes went 1, and I'm like, who went 2? Jamar?
Yeah, Jamar went 2.
I was like, oh, okay. See, Jamar makes sense though. Jamar's been going 2 and a lot.
I get, but, and don't get me wrong. I've been advocating, thinking that Jamar is going to have a better season than Justin Jefferson this season. So I think that that's a good pick for whoever picked number 2. But man, you can't let me get Justin Jefferson, bro. You just can't. Not in a full PPR league. He's got to go number 1. Got to.
Bruh, that's wild.
Yeah, and then I turn right back around, and Justin Jefferson, and then boom, CeeDee Lamb. I'm like, yo, I got Justin Jefferson and CeeDee. What is going on?
That's wild, dude. That's like that's just as good as that trade that I made with Cooper Kupp and Dalvin Cook that year.
Bro, the wide receiving core that I have for that league is crazy. Crazy. My running backs are a little iffy, but I got Joe Mixon and I think Javonte Williams. So, and I got Khalil Herbert as well. I don't really know what else. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
How else it folded out.
While I was drafting, I started doing the hero running back thing, not realizing it. I don't really care for that strategy at that position. One running back within the first 7 rounds, and then starting drafting your running backs after that. I don't agree with that at 10. I don't really care for that. Because I really could have turned around and went Saquon and Derrick Henry, but then I wouldn't have had. I probably couldn't have any chance at the other quarterbacks that I wanted. But it happens.
I mean, it depends. If it would have went Justin Jefferson and then Jamar Chase, I would have snagged Austin Eckler.
Oh yeah.
He is that guy as a running back in PPR leagues that you can take top 3. I'm not as high on Christian McCaffrey as everybody else is. I've been speaking till I'm blue in the face. I'm not high on Cooper Kupp. and he's already out for week one. So
Yeah,
one of my homeboys, what's that?
I had to take Cooper Cup out because I didn't know he was out. I was checking my teams today and seeing that he was out. I'm like, man, it's already gonna be starting.
Yeah, and somebody told me yesterday, bro. Not yesterday when I was doing that draft. Uh, what's it called? He goes, "Yeah, man, I think the Rams are gonna win that division." I said, "What? There's no way." He's like, "Bro, it's like all you gotta do is stay healthy." And I'm like, "They lost Jalen Ramsey. Cooper Cup's steadily going down almost every week. Matt Stafford's, shooting dust out of his penis when he comes. He's old as dirt. Aaron Donald doesn't want to be there anymore. Uh, it's bad.
It's
It,
bad. It's
it's
bad ball over there.
and the fact that I really got told that they were going to win the division, I was dying laughing.
It's just like when you tell the Saints fans that they didn't get robbed of that game.
Oof. My man was up this morning being a menace on the YouTube comments. I was like, bro, I don't have that kind of time in the day.
I was up because I had to bring Kelsey to work.
I mean, I'm 6 in the morning, fucking with people on YouTube comments. It's crazy.
Start your shit with the Saints fans. It's just I don't get why are you still why complain about that game? Like it happened like umpteen years ago now.
And they said,
on top of that, that flag did not cost them that game. Like that. Go ahead.
Well, you know how I feel. I'm just saying, you know how I feel. It's easily, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like you can easily say that yes, okay, that one play ruined the game. But what about every other play that happened? Now, I know for a fact that every single other play that happened that you did was not a positive play. So you had other negative plays. Yes, does it affect the game? Obviously, nobody's that stupid to really think that it doesn't affect the game.
Right.
But you can't. I hate when people do this. I say it for every sport, everything. If you make the mistakes, you can't say that when you made one mistake at the end or a mistake by the refs or if you're winning that game, that's not a mistake for you. It's not a oh the refs screwed us. If you're winning that game, people probably wouldn't care as much. But the fact that either was a tie or they were down by a little bit and they had to settle for a field goal, and does that change the aspect of things? Yes, it does. It does change the aspect of things. But to sit there and say, "Oh, well, it wouldn't have gone in over," you don't know that. You don't know that.
Yeah. And then my whole thing is like, okay, yeah, the flag, yeah, this, that, and fourth, and then y'all go to overtime. Y'all threw the pick in overtime. My thing is,
you throw a pick in overtime, bruh.
My thing is, you should have never had to go to overtime. 2, on top of that, within the first 5 minutes of the game, should have been 14-0. But y'all had to settle for ended up having to settle for 2 field goals.
Settle for field goals, yeah. They didn't punch it in the end zone the first 2 drives down the field.
And that's what killed them. Because right there, because the defense fucked around and let them stay in the game.
That's bad execution. And then to sit there and try to blame it on one play, really, one play? You have 60 minutes of game time, and you need to tell me that one play ruined your entire season? Fuck out my face, bro. That's a casual mind thinking. That's a casual fan thinking. That's terrible.
No, and I was told, apparently you don't know football. No, I know football. It's just
it's nothing to do with knowing football or not.
Y'all just must not know. Like it's just common sense right there. Like y'all had a turnover. This is literally the first drive for the Rams.
Yeah. And then you went in there and let the Rams disappoint.
Anyways, we got off topic on that one.
just a bit.
Just
But anyway, but yeah. So fantasy wise, I have Justin Herbert. Got him in like the 5th round. Thought that was a good pick. I got Joe Mixon. I think I still have Javonte Williams. I have uh, Justin Jefferson and CD Lamb. Darren Waller's my tight end. I thought that was a really good pickup for me. I picked Michael Thomas. He got so pissed off. And then literally texted me, said, eat a dick. I was like, hey, bro, I knew he wasn't going to last one more round. I had to snag him.
yeah, that you ended up taking a few people right before I wanted to take them. So I mean, it is what it is. We both got the same kind of mindset when we draft.
I had the 3 slot, so it was a little. In full PPR leagues, I tend to go double wide receiver, unless the other hero running back, unless one hero running back, one wide receiver, unless like the value of the guy that I'm picking for doesn't equal what I want. So like, so say like I come up to like the 9th pick or the 8th pick, and all that's left is like Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, solid picks, not bad running backs, but the thing about it is that uh, they don't catch out the backfield much. They're plow forward, run downhill type of running backs, and I get it. Especially with Chubb. Chubb is so consistent.
That's why I
He's
got
never,
my leagues.
yeah, he's never really had a quarterback to really like check it down to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like I get where he said that in the interview, so like I get where he's coming from with that. He doesn't really get the practice for it even in game. So yeah, I thought snagging CD was a good one. I was now okay. So would you choose? Let me ask you a question. Would you choose Garrett Wilson over CD Lamb?
Strictly Garrett Wilson, yes, because one, I trust his quarterback more. Two, I feel
I
like
do trust the quarterback more, but I
Garrett,
do think that CD Lamb is more talented.
I, I, we still got to see a little bit more out of Garrett Wilson too.
That was also another thing with me.
Daniel said, yeah, he would.
Yeah, that's who asked me that question yesterday. Yeah, like I don't know. I'm huge. I'm huge on CD this year. Um, I watch him twice a year, every year. Being a Giants fan, and he's tore us up. I've seen him tear up the league, and 1,000-yard season, 1,000-yard season, and now the one thing that Danny did bring up was the fact that they do have Brandon Cooks now, so they do have a viable number 2 option.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what they need too, to take a little bit off of CD. But if I'm honestly drafting and deciding between them, I'm probably gonna go Garrett Wilson over CD, honestly, because like I said, I trust Aaron Rodgers more than I trust Dak. Uh, Garrett Wilson is still young, he's young, fast, explosive, fucking catch the ball. He was just offensive rookie of the year last year, I believe. So yeah, I think I'm a rock with Garrett Wilson.
I just think that uh, while he is the clear cut number 1 over there, especially now, Elijah Moore gone, Corey Davis gone. You bring in Lazard, Randall Cobb, all these old guys. He's the clear cut number 1 over there. But you do add in Dalvin Cook. You're still waiting for Brees Hall to come back and be a full impact again. Where does he going to fit into the scheme of everything? Does Dalvin Cook stay number 1, or does he go somewhere else after a year, or does he get put back up behind Brees Hall? In my opinion, I'd put him behind Brees Hall once Brees Hall gets going full speed once again, 100%.
Yeah.
But until then, you got to keep him as the number 1 guy.
Now, I think they're gonna be in a little situation because, like they said, they're gonna work Brees Hall into, more snaps and more carries, this, that, and the fourth. But what happens when Dalvin Cook goes down and it's like early in the year and they're still getting Brees Hall back into rhythm? Is that just gonna, delay the process of him rehabbing that injury? Because Dalvin Cook, I can't remember the last time Dalvin Cook stayed healthy for a whole year.
No, you're right. I don't disagree with that. You are right.
Because it's always like minor injuries, like a couple weeks, this, that, and the fourth. But like, who's to
But
say?
they pile up.
Yeah, exactly. But who's to say he doesn't get injured week 2 and he can't play, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then that's when they got it. That's when they got to thrust in Brees Hall, and that's probably going to delay that process of healing too, because he's not going to be fully back.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then that just kind of all falls back to the offensive line situation they have too. That's
Yeah, I'm not big on their offensive line either. Their offensive line isn't that great, and Rodgers isn't no scrambler.
Yeah.
If he gets stuck in the pocket, he's stuck in the pocket, fam.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's going to make or break the Jets' season.
Yeah, I don't particularly agree with that take. Now it's an interesting take. It's not a terrible take. I just don't quite agree with it. That's all. That's just me though. And this is coming from somebody who's a Giants fan.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb is that guy. He is that guy. I'm letting y'all know. But if you feel like Garrett Wilson has more of a chance, no problem. Do you?
I think the only thing that's going to hold back Garrett Wilson, like everybody, is injuries. Really, because you can't say it's a quarterback now, because the quarterback is fucking a Hall of Famer, a two-time MVP Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, but what position are you trying to talk about? Because I did see you take Darren Waller.
Yeah, man, I'm so much higher on him than I am on T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, Daniel Jones has never had a safety blanket. You know what I mean? Like ever in his whole career so far, never had a safety blanket.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. And then like, Dable's gonna work with that because he's gonna have a hell of a tight end. As long as he stays healthy, bro. That's the only issue.
No, I agree. I don't disagree with that. I just got a text from Danny. He said Aaron Rodgers definitely can scramble. He can move. He can't scramble. There's a difference. he can still move, but he can't scramble. He's not scrambling. He'll move a little. He's like, you ever seen that Family Guy with the Star Wars? He's like, oh, but look, they're drifting lazily to the left. That's what Aaron Rodgers does. He drifts lazily to the left as he's getting ready to throw the ball or get away from a defender, and then he throws it.
Now if you watch, you used to see him running around and everything, but not like running around, but like running for first downs and this, that, and fourth. But now you just see him kind of just like slowly just backpedal, backwards, side, forward, then he'll just throw that bitch like 30 yards. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, no, I'm so much higher on Darren Waller than I am T.J. Hawkinson this year. Obviously, I still don't think I'm as high on him as Mark Andrews and definitely Travis Kelce. Some people are willing. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, and maybe you can explain this to me. Why is everybody so high on Kyle Pitts? I don't get it.
I don't understand it either.
I don't see what the appeal is. Yeah, he's big and athletic, but I mean, he didn't do anything last year. Why all of a sudden do you think he's the fourth best tight end in the league?
He hasn't done anything in 2 years.
It's crazy. Like he's done nothing. I know one of them was dealt with injury, but like I mean, come on, he's done nothing since he's got in the league. I don't understand why he's so high.
I think his rookie year, the only touchdown he scored was in London. You're not even on U.S. soil at that point. Like you got to at least do something. You're this high rated tight end coming out of college, coming out of Florida. I think that's where he came from, Florida, right?
Wait, who's that again?
Kyle Pitts came from Florida.
Yes, Kyle Pitts did come from Florida.
He was a high tight end coming out of Florida. A freak athlete. tall as
For a
shit.
freak athlete, I agree with that.
It's not. You don't. It's not very often you find players like that. But like as long if he stays with Atlanta and they don't get a quarterback, he's going to be just become irrelevant eventually.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see what the big deal about Kyle Pitts is. I would take George Kittle over him, Darren Waller over him, T.J. Hawkinson. Shit, I might even fucking take Dalton Schultz over that guy, bro.
I'd take Goddard over him.
I definitely take Goddard over him. You're right. Yeah, I forgot about Goddard.
I'd honestly take Dawson Knox over him because
They're about what to me. As far as like what points you're putting up.
yeah, because I think Dawson's better in the red zone area because I think over the last 2 years, him and Josh Allen have 15 touchdowns each total, with just within the red zone between them two.
Which is good.
Yeah, exactly. So, I take him. So there's a couple tight ends that I take before Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal. If I were y'all, I would try to stay away from Keenan Allen. He's liable to go down. I'm not high on him this year.
We say that, but we have him, I think, in one of our leagues.
We do, but we got him late.
Yeah.
We didn't get him that high.
Oh no, yeah.
Which I was cool with. If we're gonna get him late,
yeah.
I mean, if you can get him like 10th, 11th round.
Yeah, we got him late because we got him like maybe a few rounds before Tyler Lockett, and we got Tyler Lockett 16.
Yeah, we got him at like 11 or 12 in our dynasty, so it's like that's fine.
Yep. As long as he stays healthy, I think he has very good potential for us. With Kellen Moore coming over from Dallas.
Now that's going to be interesting. I will say that is going to be interesting with Kellen Moore coming over. I think mainly because Dallas blamed a lot of their woes offensively on Kellen Moore, and so if they don't come out and produce like they're supposed to, who do you got left to blame?
Yeah.
But
you talking about the Chargers or Dallas?
Dallas.
The only other person right now is blame is McCarthy. And then nobody's going to ever point fingers at Jerry Jones because it's fucking Jerry Jones.
Ridiculous.
And I think a lot of people understand that Jerry Jones is one of the issues. We say this all the time. But
oh no, it's just papers. It's fucking terrible.
That's why I don't care for CeeDee Lamb because one, he doesn't have an offensive coordinator anymore. I'm pretty sure McCarthy's calling plays.
No, they got a guy over there now. They got a guy. I don't know if you might be right about McCarthy calling plays though. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know who the OC is over there at all. So I mean, but we see McCarthy calling plays.
Yeah, not his best work.
No, not at all. I think he was the one that called that quarterback sneak in that playoff game where Dak ended up running up the middle. That confusing ass play. I've noticed, bro. Have you ever noticed it's like the past few years, Dallas is always in some fuckery play in a game. I think last year it was the one when Zeke snapped the ball and got completely ran over. I think the year
I forgot about that.
I didn't. I remember
forgot about it.
I remember that. And then I think the year before that was when Dak ran that play and he ended up running a slide in the middle of the field and it cost him the game. Dallas just needs to get better at at the mental mistakes.
I mean, but that's a Mike McCarthy coach team. Though.
Yeah.
We expect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As if you don't have Aaron Rodgers, he ain't getting very far because He was the coach back when they won that Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we'll wait and see. In my opinion, the Eagles are still going to take this division.
Oh
They're
yeah,
just too stacked offensively, But um, yeah, I don't see it that was like that. But they will make the playoffs.
yeah.
Um, now I wanted to ask you because I saw you were the first person to take a defense off the board in our draft on Tuesday. Um, why did you take one right there and not wait like round?
I could have waited. I could have waited like another round or two, but at that point, I already had a kicker. I was like, you might as well just fill out the entire team right now. So I got one of the best kickers in the league right now, as I feel, is in Evan McPherson with Cincinnati. I know they score points. I know he can make kicks.
But
Um,
the thing is you don't want a team that scores points. You want a team that can move the ball down the field and then get stopped. You want that kicker because that's the kicker that's going to kick the most field goals, and those are the points you
no,
want.
yeah, I mean that point too. I mean, I'm also looking at like if I'm drafting any other kickers because I have drafted a team or two without a kicker and just picked one up later in the season. But
Pretty sure most people do. I know guys that do that with kickers,
yeah,
and I
well,
know they do that with both kickers and defenses, and just draft all out to begin with.
the year I ended up winning the entire thing a couple years ago, I did it without a quarterback.
And
I waited.
that's fucking crazy. I would never not draft a quarterback.
It was wild because like I ended up getting Jared Goff and Big Ben, and I don't remember my entire team, but
Jared Goff had a decent season.
that was Jared Goff's Super Bowl year.
Yeah, Jared Goff had a decent season that year.
Yeah, so that was the year Jared Goff and the Rams went to the Super Bowl against New England. So yeah, that it was that offense.
That's the shittiest Super Bowl I've ever seen. Well, I take that back. The shittiest Super Bowl I've ever seen was the Broncos versus Seattle, and Seattle mollywopped them.
That
That
was
was the
bad.
worst I've ever. That
That,
one, either that one or the 2002 one with the Bucks and the Raiders. That was a fucking thrashing. I felt bad for Rich Gannon. Uh, but yeah, yeah, I went. I waited a little bit. I waited to think like I think around after I picked like a player, and then I was third pick, so in four more picks, it's right back to me.
right.
Uh, so when it came back to me that second time, I went ahead and drafted the defense. I got the Jets defense.
Which
They're
is
talking about they might be historical this year. With
we'll see.
how good they are and how full out. I know you don't want to hear
I
it.
mean, we'll see how they are.
Yeah, I know you don't want to hear it. But I
But
told you, unfortunately, y'all are going to come last in this division. Now, do y'all make it tough for everybody else? I think is the key. Like, is that going to happen?
right. Yeah. We'll see. It's always an interesting year every year. There's something always wild happens.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, you got any stardoms for this week that you really like? Any matchups that you saw that were looking pretty good to start out?
Um,
Kind of start out the year on the right foot.
I want to say you can start Odell because Baltimore's facing Houston. Houston's defense is kind of meh a little bit. Their front seven might be a little different because they got Will Anderson up front now. You got Jalen Petrie in the backfield, so I think he's a second-year player. But I still think their corners aren't very experienced and very good. So you can look for Odell to get possibly a touchdown within the 20 yards with the fade.
Maybe like a 5-6 catch 80-yard game with a touchdown.
Right. I really like Zay Flowers from the game that I got to see. He caught a little, I think it was a little screen pass. Made two people miss and then scampered into the end zone for like a 20-yard touchdown. So if that happens, I can see him, start rising because he's the wide receiver 2 behind Odell. So if Odell's staying underneath and everything, Zays could probably take it over top a little bit because he might be a little faster, or vice versa. You know, so I feel like those two players could be somebody pretty decent against Houston's defense. Um, that's who I can think of right now. But who do you have?
Well, we were just talking about like people who don't draft defenses or kickers or anything. I got a defense for you. How about the Washington Commanders Week 1 against Arizona with Josh Dobbs playing in the backfield?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no disrespect to Josh Dobbs. He can ball a bit, and his character is flawless. He's an amazing guy, but he's not no upper echelon. Their number one guy is Marquise Brown. I'm not high on him. Never have been, even when he was with the Ravens. Uh, you know this. I've never drafted him. I've never had him because I just never liked him. I never liked his play.
I don't think Arizona has any of the firepower that they could have. James Conner.
Yeah.
Do you understand the James Conner hype at all?
Oh yeah, I get the James Conner. I mean, who are you gonna throw the ball to?
I mean, I get that.
If you can run the right formations and block and run block, James Conner can get average 110 yards a game.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but he doesn't have the best injury report either.
Yeah, that I agree with. He does get hurt a decent bit, But I mean, not last season, but the season before, he went crazy with the touchdowns. He had like 15, 16 touchdowns, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he went crazy with touchdowns.
Oh,
And then last year, he took a step back a little bit, but their whole offense took a step back. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
Oh yeah, the entire team took a step back.
Well, yeah, so you lose Kyler from an injury. Now you traded DeAndre Hopkins. He's gone. All you got left on the defense really is Buda Baker. JJ Watt retired. So
Justin Simmons got traded to the Giants.
exactly, and they weren't using him right anyway. They lined him up at slot cornerback. Slot cornerback. That's not his position, fam. He's got to rush the passer.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Well,
sure,
I can't wait to see what Wink's going to do with this guy. I can't wait.
I'm pretty sure coming out of college, he was labeled as a linebacker safety.
He was that hybrid type safety. You know what I mean? But he's better at rushing the passer. He's really good at that. He's really good at getting downhill and getting around those edges because he can use his small, a little bit smaller frame and get underneath that shoulder pad and curve that corner with his speed. And if he can do that, then man, we'll be in a world of love with him. I'm telling you. I can't wait to see what Wink does with him. Our defense is going to be sneaky good next year. It really is. It's not going to be flashy good. It's going to be sneaky good.
Yeah, y'all are a few pieces away on defense.
Yeah, especially offensively. We definitely need a number one wide receiver. I don't care what anybody says. A wide receiver is terrible.
And hopefully that's what Hyde will turn into for y'all.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see with that. But we definitely need number one. Our offensive line still isn't shirt up. We brought back basically the same offensive line, except we got a rookie at center now. So, and we gave up we need Evan Neal to take a huge step up this year. Like, no more fucking around. Like, we need him big time. Andrew Thomas is putting in work on that left side. If he can show up that right side, then you're going to be able to get Daniel Jones out on the move on the run.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And his throw on the run is really good. He makes good decisions. He makes better decisions on the run than when he does in the pocket. Let's just put it like that. That's how you got to play his style. His style is a rollout quarterback type deal, and he can decide whether he wants to pass it or run it.
Yeah. A lot of bootlegs, RPOs, play actions.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah. All right, man. Well, I mean, we gotta talk about it now. It's Thursday night football. It's the first game of the season. All right. You got the Detroit Lions going into Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs are a 5.5 point favorite right now. This is before like we know the status of Travis Kelce though.
Yeah.
So we don't know the status of him yet. It's a 5.5-point favorite. I think the over under was like 53, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. 52.
I don't
Uh,
know.
but Jared, who do you have and why?
I'm still going with Kansas City, strictly because we talked about this earlier in the game in the show. You got 15 in the background. I mean, in the backfield. As long as you got 15, anything's possible. I mean, yeah, you may not have Travis Kelce. Hopefully, they have Travis Kelce for our team's sake. You know, for getting the points for Thursday, because we still got to figure out what we're gonna do about Thursday if he doesn't play. Um, but I still think Kansas City's got the
Well,
bye.
we got T. Higgins we can put in. I mean, not T. Higgins. Tyler Higbee. Sorry,
Who?
Tyler Higbee.
Oh, yeah, and yeah, we got him, Laporta, and Hayden Hurst. So we can figure that out. But yeah, you still got Sky Moore to worry about. You still got Kadarius Toney to worry about, especially on special teams returning points because he can just make shit. He can just make people miss on the points. Uh, let's see what else. And they just had too much speed for Detroit's defense to keep up with. Now, is it possible Detroit wins? Yeah, because if Chris Jones doesn't play and Travis Kelce doesn't play, that's just two big people just gone. And as of right now, I'm hearing that Ladarius Sneed is also hurt. So if he's hurt, that's three people that Kansas City may not have. So I mean, excuse me. Like I said, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. But a lot of things will have to happen for that to go down.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Sorry, I was doing something and it got exit.
Are you
Sorry.
good?
But yeah. No. I mean, am I really gonna pick against the Chiefs?
Right, exactly.
You know, am I really gonna do it?
Now, I'm gonna ask you: are you going over or under the 50? The 50. Let's just
Uh, def- definitely under. Definitely under.
I would go under two, especially if Travis Kelce isn't playing.
Especially Travis. But the Lions didn't play well on the road last season. Most of their big points and big scoring games and all that stuff came at home. You know, can they get over the road hump? I would, I would love to be wrong about this pick. I would love to be wrong about this pick, but
I wouldn't be.
I gotta go Kansas City. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like you just have to go Kansas City. I'm sorry. Um, Patrick Mahomes in the backfield. I don't care what else is going on around him. Unless he loses offensive linemen, that's the only thing I care about. Because if he can't protect him, then yeah, then I understand why I'd pick against him.
yeah.
But ain't no way. If you just lose Travis Kelce, I mean, now I will say, if the Lions get over that road hump, they will be able to score a lot of points against that Chiefs defense with Chris Jones out,
Yeah,
not playing right now.
and Ladarius Sneed if he's hurt too, because that's just to be one of their top corners gone.
Yeah.
So who's good? Who is it? Their back is there a backup corner going to guard St. Brown, or is Sneed going to be there to cover St. Brown? How is it going to work out?
Yeah, I still think it really hurts the Lions right now not having Jameson Williams in there. Man, Jameson Williams, but he is man, he's good. He really is, but he hasn't been able to be really on the field to like really show that.
Yeah, he's just getting a lot of bad breaks. It's unfortunate. Last year he was hurt. This year he's suspended for 6 games. So,
Yeah.
but I did draft him. I drafted him. I'm gonna keep him on the bench for like those 6 games, and then
Yeah, I got him. I got him in one league, and that's it. I think I got him in one league where I was like, all right, well, I'll get him here, see how he does when he comes back. You know, maybe I can get a first top talent for
yeah,
a low cost.
exactly.
That's why I drafted Kadarius Toney for that same reason.
Yep.
Because um, if he can stay healthy, he's gonna be the number one guy over there.
Yeah, exactly. Because
You know,
Juju's going. I mean, you still got MVS over there.
yeah, and and then you still got what's that, Sky Moore.
Yeah,
You still got McKinnon out the backfield.
Rasheed Rice.
Yeah, you got that new rookie. Um, so I mean, you don't know the exact level of playmakers that you have around you right now, but a few of them can get the job done. With Travis Kelce out, I expect McKinnon. If you're in a deeper league, like a 14-man league, I'd start McKinnon for tomorrow.
Yeah, I have him in one of my leagues, but I don't think I'm gonna start him.
No, that's like for like real deep leagues. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a real deep league, sometimes 12, but definitely 14. I would definitely start McKinnon tomorrow.
Yeah, sometimes I usually use him strictly when they if I need like a pass catching back, and sometimes that's exactly what they use him to.
Yeah, I expect them to use a lot of like what's that, dual running back sets.
Yeah,
Travis Kelce goes out. Now, don't get me wrong, Noah Gray, he's decent. He's not a bad guy. He's athletic, tight end. He's a vertical guy. He's a guy that can catch the football down the field. So, but if he's like, if he's like, Mom, Dad, we want Travis Kelce. Well, we got Travis Kelce at home, and that's Noah Gray. You see what I'm saying? Like he's he's Travis Kelce off a Wish,
basically.
basically.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean no offense to him. It's just
Yeah, no, I mean, who are you going to compare Travis Kelce to? Like besides like the best of all time.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's yet to be seen how many points they scored. If I was to pick point spread and over under, um, man, 5.5. I think Lions plus 5.5 is not a bad pick, especially if Travis Kelsey's out, Chris Jones out, Snead out. If all those things are going up against the Chiefs, I do like the Lions keeping it close.
Yeah.
Can they stay within 5? I mean, we'll see. But I think that's a solid pick if you want to do that. If you want to do an alternate spread where you pick like a full touchdown, I think that'd probably be a better pick. But excuse me. But it's yet to be seen with the Chiefs offense with no Travis Kelce, Chiefs defense with no Chris Jones and Snead.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting seeing KC if they don't have Travis Kelce.
Yeah. But yeah, I would if I'm betting though. I go. If I'm betting, I'm still taking Kansas City minus 5.5, and I'm taking the under in this game.
Yeah, it's just hard to bet against Kansas City.
It's not even just that. Like I said, like last year on the road, the Lions were first game of the season. That crowd's gonna be pumped. They're gonna throw the banner, raise up the banner. You know what I'm saying, and all types of stuff. And first game of the season, that crowd's gonna be rocking.
Just because they're gonna be dropping the banner and they're her first home game and off the Super Bowl and everything, I would not be surprised if they just drop 40 on them just for the fuck of it.
But I will say, there's a possibility, even though you have Mahomes, and people can disagree with this or not, but if he doesn't have his guys and that defense doesn't have their guys, it's going to be tough. Yeah. The Lions are not a pushover.
Right.
Lions are not a pushover. I have them winning that division this year. So if they beat Kansas City, I'm happy.
Yeah. You still got Aiden Hutchinson on the right end.
Yeah.
You got I think the linebacker is Jack Youngblood they just drafted or something like. I think that's his last name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Corners aren't that bad. Safeties aren't that bad. Linebackers are decent.
The safeties weren't that great last season, but they did go draft that Brian Branch kid out of Alabama, and I told you how high I was on him. I thought that was a really solid pick.
And from what I've heard, that he's been having very good camps.
Yeah, he is a very solid safety, and you normally see that with guys out of Alabama. Wendell Collins was a little bit more of a tackling safety,
Yeah,
than as far as like. But I think Brian Branch is more of a good mix. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I think he's like a perfect mix for a safety that can come up and still hit stick that running back.
yeah. I think if Kansas City's not careful, they could lose this game. They
Especially
could.
with all these calls. Andy Reid's gonna have to call a good game. He's gonna have to call a good game to keep Patrick Mahomes safe.
That and
And they're gonna have to find a way to get the ball out of his hands quickly if Travis Kelce's not there.
yeah, and then St. Brown's got to do his thing. But I want to see how Laporta's gonna look. First NFL game as a rookie coming on the field. Because I think he beat out the other tight end from last year. I think his name. I don't know what his name was, but I'm pretty sure he's the starting tight end. So I want to see how that's going to work. Because for one, we have him in Dynasty. Two, I want to see how he looks for future years to draft. Um, I don't know who Detroit's number 2 is behind St. Brown as of right now. Uh, but then you can't sleep on Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't.
Hello, Gino.
Oh, what's up, Gino? What's up, man? But yeah, man. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I like Kansas City to win this game as much as the Panthers say because I have such high faith in Detroit this year. Basically, I would pick with my head. I would pick Kansas City. With my heart, I would go with the Lions. I want them to do good this season. I do. I want them. I want them to win that division. I really do. It's
Who?
theirs for the taking. They got to do it.
You talking about Detroit?
Oh yeah, Detroit's got to do it.
Oh
They
yeah.
have to. There's no way on God's green earth, and they were talking about this yesterday on NFL Live. I was watching it. There's no way on this earth that the Vikings are going to win another 12 games by one possession or less. There's no way. There's no way. Uh, so and on top of that, their point differential as a winning team was like -3. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I really want Detroit to win this division.
Yeah, I think we actually said this last year about Detroit winning. Um, if Detroit don't win it, I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota wins it. But I think it's going to come down between them two.
Yeah, same.
Whether they split those 2 games, it's gonna go either way because it's going to determine because I can see Detroit beating Chicago. I can see them splitting with Green Bay. I can see them split with Minnesota. If they want to win the division, they're going to have to hopefully try to sweep one of those other 2 people beside one of those other 2 teams besides Chicago. And they may not even sweep Chicago. They may split with Chicago also.
Oh,
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean, they could sweep Green Bay. It's definitely, like you said, it's definitely possible. But I mean, Green Bay is still not going to be a pushover team. Like Jordan Love looked pretty decent in the preseason. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
He looked decent. He didn't look bad. I mean, it's preseason. Like I said last week, we take that with a shot of penicillin and a grain of salt over here. You know. But we'll see.
He'll have a pretty young, wide receiver core with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs too.
Yeah, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs. They picked up that Jaden Reed kid. I really like him. He was really good at Michigan State last season. So he's a very, very versatile player.
And then you still got AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones in the backfield too.
Mm-hmm.
So Green Bay's got the talent and pieces around Jordan Love. I don't know how much longer Aaron Jones is gonna have in Green Bay. But even when he leaves, you still got a somewhat young back in in AJ Dillon. So they're young. If they all can stay together, anything's possible for Green Bay.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how they do. But any last words, man? We end this right now. End it a little early tonight. I gotta get all my stuff ready for work tomorrow.
No, I feel that. No, I don't think we have anything. Football's back tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, well, we'll be back here on Friday around 8 o'clock. We're gonna review the game, talk about what happened on season opener, and then me and Jared are gonna sit down and we're gonna pick the games.
For sure.
And
come back on Friday.
Yeah, we'll be back on Friday, Gino, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll send
we're gonna pick the games, and we're gonna come up with some other stuff and see what we're gonna look like in the first week of football.
Yeah,
so we'll talk about all the games, talk about all the teams, and go over a little bit more fantasy before we start, and then we're gonna be on a roll for week 1.
Yep. Well, all right. Till Friday, I'll holler at you, bro.
All right, man. Good show. I'll see everybody later. There you go.